Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your cannabis business podcast. Today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 cannabis industry news stories of the week, starting with number 10. There's 3 reasons why Big Pharma hates the threat of the psychedelic medicines and one company that's facing them head on. We're just going to move on to number 9. The Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference goes virtual. So according to themselves, it's the best cannabis event in the world. They're going to have a full day of keynotes, panel discussions, fireside chats, networking, company presentations, celebrity appearances, and more. Moving on to number 8, PetSmart's going to begin to carry CBD products for pets. So I've already seen this where you can give your pet a bath with some kind of shampoo and it, chills them out or something. But PetSmart is going to finally join Petco in selling cannabidiol-infused products for furry friends. All right, number 7, cannabis banking included a $3 trillion stimulus package. The marijuana reform advocates, they've been pushing for cannabis banking included in the next stimulus bill. So it seems those efforts have paid off. The House leadership announced the Safe Banking Act has included what likely will be the largest relief package in U.S. history. So language from the Safe Banking Act was included in the CARES 2.0 package. And as Senator Blumhauer put it, the inclusion of the Safe Banking Act is recognition that cannabis businesses have been classified as essential. Prohibiting these businesses from banking and forcing cash-only transactions in the middle of a global health crisis is irresponsible and wrong. And the passage of the bipartisan Safe Banking Act will be a huge benefit, not only for the industry, but for the community and public safety. And just like I've been saying on this podcast before, they're going to look for a crisis so that they can allow their conservative constituents to allow it as long as it's for a crisis. And that's exactly what they've put in here. Part of the 1,815-page stimulus bill has references for the cannabis reform that states that the purpose is to increase public safety by ensuring access to financial services, getting cannabis-related legitimate businesses and service providers, and reducing the amount of cash and such businesses. So although the SAFE Act was passed in the House last year, it still remains in the Senate, maybe with the verbiage being pulled and put into the CARES Act 2.0. That may be enough that all we need to get banking into, or cannabis into banking. Looks like that's already happened. All right, number 6, MindMed advances phase 2 of their LSD microdosing trial for adult ADHD and appoints a principal investor. Number 5, most members of new Biden-Sanders criminal justice task force back marijuana legalization. Drug policy reform advocates have been partially interested to learn who would comprise the group since it was first announced last month. Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders on Wednesday announced that members of several new task force that they formed to explore policies in 6 major areas included a criminal justice reform panel that's stacked with cannabis legalization supporters. Number 4, Portland activists will pursue psychedelic decriminalization through city council rather than a ballot. Number 3, sales are soaring for recreational marijuana in Michigan. Last week, Michigan lenders shelled out $7,900,000 on recreational cannabis products. That's the biggest sales week in the adult use industry's brief history in the state. Number 2, Champion Brands is going to enter the U.S. psychedelic market with an acquisition of California Ketamine Clinic. And the number 1 story, the House approves of marijuana banking again as part of the stimulus bill. The House approved a relief package on Friday that included provisions that would protect banks that service state legal cannabis businesses from being penalized by federal regulators. That's a huge deal. Their biggest concern is losing their charter, their federal charter. And so if that's true, then state banks and credit unions, no problem. Some of those bigger multi-state banks, they're going to probably need more reassurance. But all in all, good news. So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Or don't, and I'm out.